Dr. Mark Changizi here with your Science Moment. How is it that social animals live their entire lives without language? They have lots of things to coordinate, lots of things to deal with. Social animals are incredibly brilliant. We are slightly smarter than the other great apes. We seem to be astronomically smarter, but really biologically, we're just a little bit smarter. And all of the social animals are deeply intelligent creatures. And how do they get by without language? How did we get by without language? Language, spoken, written language is only a couple thousand years old. For most of us, just a couple generations back, they didn't even write. Most of us have ancestors relatively recently. And language, spoken language, probably goes back hundreds of thousands of years at most. Most of our hominid history was not even having spoken language. As I've argued in Harnessed, in my earlier books, Harnessed, we culturally evolved language to fit our ancient instincts. It's not part of our biology, our instincts at all. It's not a part of our human nature. And writing culturally evolved to look like the structures in nature, so harnessing our object recognition areas. We're not designed for that. So how is it that we got by without speech, without writing all of these years, coordinating, doing all of these complex kinds of social behaviors? Well, that's what Tim Barber in my book, Expressly Human, Decoding the Language of Emotion, is about. It's about a grand unifying theory about why it is we have the emotional expression space and why it functions, works as it does, and also undergirds how reputation networks work and why free expression has to be free, why you have to have no censorship. It underlies all of these things. But I wanted to just mention an intuition that might help you overcome a feeling of how is it that we really survived complex social dynamics and dealing with all of these things without language. Well, we do this all the time. It's something we discuss in the book in the introduction, early parts. We all engage in non-linguistic communication with others all the time. I mean, we're doing it all the time even when we speak. I'm emotionally expressive right now. We're doing it in speech. Even in texting, we're doing it with using the right kinds of words and the right kinds of choices to put emotional expressions in. But even when we're not allowed to have any speech at all, there's a part of life where we're doing this all the time, and we don't even necessarily realize it, and that's when we're on the road, when we're driving. All of these cars, and especially on motorcycles, we rely very much on trying to emotionally express ourselves, both through our gestures and our facial reactions and the sounds of the engine. We have to do that to be seen and heard, but everybody is constantly engaging in constant communication. If you're aggressive, you can do that in a number of ways. You can honk, sure, but you can also, get really close behind them. You can rev your engine. You can, you can show in a number of ways that you really want to pass. You can flick them off with your fingers. This is emotional expression. You can swerve back and forth, or you can be conciliatory. You can say, you can let in, you slow down. You can say, hey, come on in. You're not actually saying come on in. You're just waving them. You're using a non-verbal expression as part of the emotion. You're showing conciliatory behavior. You can show that you're serious by looking like you're about to do it, or you can just be casual, relaxed, and slow. And so, and I've talked about this before. In a stick shift or in a manual transmission like this bike, I can show that I'm more serious by being in a lower gear and highly revved and in such a way that I hope that they even hear it, that I'm not messing around, versus casual and I'm a high gear. I don't even want them to hear me. I'm not too worried about it. We do this all the time. We manage to engage in very dangerous high-speed behaviors, which are complex social behaviors with lots of risk. We do it all the time. So I think that should hopefully take away some of the counterintuitiveness. And I think it's extremely, at first glance, counterintuitive how it is that we survived all of human history, all of human, non-recorded history, except for the last couple 100,000 years, was without language. What was that like? How could you get by in the camps and keep the camp running, so to speak, with no language? How did we coordinate it? Well, I think this gives you just a little bit of a hint. Next time you're on the road, keep your eyes on all the kinds of signals that are going on, coordinating the behaviors of us on the road.